All right, guys, welcome in, Pesky Pole YouTube channel. I want to show you guys how I play out of the park baseball, how I set things up anyway. So the great thing about this game is there's so many ways to play it and set things up. And so one of the things I do is go with a new historical game. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, no thanks. And I'm going to go ahead and start in 1986. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a historical type of replay, but with fictional players, okay? And you can do this different ways. You can go ahead and create a custom league and set it with 1980 standards. I find that doesn't work as well as doing it this way. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to import complete history because I'm going to make my own history. Import real minor leagues. I'm going to say yes. That gives you the real minor league teams back in '86. And I'm choosing '86 because I was 11 years old. I think it's the best time for baseball, and so forth. I'll get in a second. So it's going to take a while to upload. So let me go ahead and do, and I'll explain more in a second. So career play. This is going to load for a while. So there are all kinds of ways to play this game. Now, I could go ahead and start from '86 with the real '86 Red Sox and then see what happens going forward. I can set it where the players will develop like they did historically. That's cool, but it kind of gives you an unfair advantage as the GM because you know how certain players will turn out and the AI does not. So, like, for instance, in '86, for example, I know that Kurt Schilling is in my minor leagues, and I know he's going to turn out to be a stud. Other teams may not know that. I know that, say, for example, I think in '86, there's a couple of prospects, you know, like a Mike Greenwell, you know, Ellis Burks, and so forth. You kind of know more things. You know, I may know that you know, Pedro Martinez, who, you know, comes out in the draft eventually, you know, is going to be a superstar at some point. So it gives you an unfair advantage. So the other way you can play is with the out of the park baseball development engine taking over from '86 on. And that's kind of cool too. I mean, you can see you might have a situation where Roger Clemens becomes a, you know, gets an injury in '87 and is out for this career, and that's it. And that's kind of cool in some ways, but a lot of times, you know, I've played this before, and you kind of get tired if that happens, you know. And there's always that bias in there too, in terms of what you want to happen. So I'm going to go in here, real historic. No, I'm not going to do historical transactions. You only do that if you're doing an actual replay. So I'm doing this here. So I'm going to go, so here's what I'm trying to wait for. Now, I can recalculate the players' ratings for each season using real stats. That's if you want to do it so that, you know, Jim Rice, you know, ends up being what Jim Rice is after '86, you know. One of the cool things about doing it this way here is that you could, you know, Jim Rice kind of got old pretty quick. '86 is his last really good season. And, you know, using the OOTP development engine, Jim Rice might play for 5 more years at a really good clip and maybe hit, you know, 450 home runs and, you know, be more of a lock Hall of Famer than he barely got in. So we're going to do it this way because, you know, out of playing a expanded league, a whole expansion draft. Now, here's the thing. You can decide how you want to do this. Okay? The purpose of my league is I want my league to play like 1986 for the history of the league. Okay? I want it to always be the same settings, the same divisions setups, the same, all those things, the same pitcher endurance, everything. Okay? So I don't want to expand the league. I don't want to hold expansion draft. Now, you could do that. If I keep those clicked, the league will go like it does in real life. You know, you'll have expansion in '93. You'll have realignment in '98 and all that stuff. So but we're not going to do that. So we're going to go unclick those. If I don't say, we're going to make the money go up though, because I want the salaries to increase as we go through the seasons. All right, so I click that there. This is kind of your personal preference. Personally, I like kind of doing this a little bit kind of fog of war, but not totally fog of war. So what I always do is I turn off the actual ratings, but I keep the potential ratings on. That way I can see a prospect and what their potential is. And there's no telling if they'll reach their potential. I mean, a lot of guys have this potential and never reach it. And so you got to make the decision about how their stats are. You know, if they're in year 4 and they're hitting 230 and 5 homers a year, but their potential says they're a 70 power, okay? Oh, and you're wondering, well, I mean, is he ever going to get to that point? Do I give up on him? So that's a cool way to play. Fictional pictures. I'm going to do all players there, and we're doing it here. All right, so we're going to call this MLB. I'm going to play in commissioner mode. I'm going to turn this off in a second, but I have to play in commissioner mode to do one thing to make this what I want to do here. So commissioner mode, I cannot be fired. I'm going to do the Red Sox. I want to stay the Red Sox manager forever and ever and ever. Okay, so I do that. Boom. There's my name. Okay, so go through here. So I'm importing right now all the real minor leaguers, all the 86 players. Okay, the Barry Bonds is a prospect. You know, Maddox. It's a pretty cool year to do, but I'm going to get rid of those guys. Okay, so we're gonna purge those guys from the system. And I'll show you how to do it in a second. And then we're going to create a league that is a 1986 style league, and with fictional players. Okay, so that way you have no bias. You have no, man, I really want Ellis Burks to become a star. Why isn't Burks become a star? You know, why did Roger Clemens become a journeyman by 1990? You know, and listen. And sometimes it's fun doing that way and to change history. I'm doing that with my 1939 Ted Williams one, mainly because I want to see what he could do without going to war. Now, the problem with that is that Ted Williams could become a bum, you know, after 1945. But so I'm doing that too, and I play it, and I get a little bit tired of it at times and put it away because it has that kind of bias there, because you know the players and you kind of have an expectation for them and so forth. The cool thing about playing in this way, I'm going to show you in a second, with fictional players, is you really kind of get immersed in their story and in these fake guys, okay? And their personalities and their ratings, and they become stars, they become bums, or you mishandle one, you give up on a guy, and you leave him unprotected, or he becomes a free agent, and all of a sudden becomes a superstar. He hits the potential rating, you know. And you really follow those, and you have no kind of bias in terms of, well, he shouldn't be that good, you know. Like if, for instance, if you played this game and I'm trying to pick a journeyman out, and Jay Buhner, okay, becomes the all-time home run king. I mean that's cool, but because it's gonna feel kind of weird, like, well, Jay Buhner couldn't do that. But if his name was, you know, Jay Thomas or Jay Mathis, okay, a fictional guy, you're like, you know, and he had the same start as Jay Buhner had. He got traded, you know, and then found himself. You'd be like all in on the story. Like, what a great story. He kind of got traded early on in his career, and he found it and so forth. So, once again, it's all your preference. Out of the Park Baseball. I think Out of the Park Baseball does its best work running a baseball organization with fictional players. I think that's where its sweet spot is. I think, you know, I don't play replays on this when it comes to replaying seasons. I do PC replay baseball. I know other people do strat and all that stuff there too. And of course, I'm getting the card and dice game payoff pitch baseball coming with 1986, by the way, which I can't wait to play. But that's cool because the players then will perform like they're supposed to perform. So it's kind of a cool thing. So, all right. So all this stuff here I'm not going to look at because we're not going to deal with that. So the first one I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go into my league settings. And I'm going to clear the rosters. Boom. Then I'm going to go down here to free agents. All players. I'm going to click on this bad boy. And this is why you need commissioner mode. You can't do this if you're not commissioner mode. This is why I have commissioner mode right now. Boom. And we're going to delete all these players. Bye-bye. Alright. So, now we're going to come into league settings again. And all this stuff is personal preference. Complete scouting system. Yes. I don't like keeping the OSA report at all. Because that's kind of, I think that's kind of cheating in a way. I like using my scout. So I have to trust my scout. If he stinks, I get rid of him. But I have to trust him for the most part and kind of trust my own thing too. Scouting has to be normal. Current rating scale, no. I do other rating scale though. Other rating scale helps you with their, their speed and their defense. So I want to know that for sure. But the potential is up there. I don't want to know their current ratings. I don't want to know that at all. I like having a little more mystery to that. Owner goals, I'm going to uncheck that because I'm not looking to keep my job. I'm going to manage the Red Sox. I'm the owner. I'm the GM. I'm the manager. I'm not going anywhere. So it's cool to play that way sometimes. What's really cool to play is to be the manager and have the GM run your team. You just manage the games and try to keep your job that way. And you get pissed sometimes when your GM makes a bad move and you got to manage the team he gives you, and it's pretty cool that way. So this is all this. So I'll just do all major leagues. All major leagues. I do all these things too. You can change these things later on. Prospect list. I like doing it annually. You can do dynamic too, but that's not really realistic. They don't really update prospect lists really. They used to do it once a year. And do it that way. Players and face gen, injuries. I like doing normal injuries, high injury rating. Once again, I'll make this a little bit difficult. If I want to find out if the guy's injury prone, I can look at his career. If he's averaged 50 games a year for the past 3 years, guess what? He's injury prone. Suspension's fine. I like player personality. I like the nicknames in there. Personal preference. Keep all the stats so I can find out what they're doing in the minor leagues. Okay, boom. A1 settings. I like making trading difficult. I like favoring prospects. Almanac. All kind of that stuff. Online league. Don't worry about. League settings. Going through here. Oh, so boom. Got my teams there. Look at those. This makes me smile. I love that AL East. I mean, I love that. It makes me just smile. And I miss baseball like that. I like baseball today, but I miss it. You always like it when you were a kid. You always think that's the best way to do things. Rules, DH, expand the roster size. I hate the expanded roster rule, and I know that back in the days they did it. I hate that. I hate that. I can't stand it. I'm going to get rid of that. Got a DH on. So you can change the modern rules now. Modified extra innings, minimum batter space. We're not going to do that. 80s baseball, don't need to. Okay, so I need to go to a historical real quick. All right, and automatically adjust league strategy. No, we're going to keep the strategy the same. We're playing 1986 baseball from now to the end of time. Settings are fine. We're not going to automatically import historical rookies. Okay, so let's go back to the rules again. So now we got this. We're making a June draft. Okay, I'm going to make I always do like 25 rounds. We'll do about 27 here. Make sure you uncheck this box. You want to have a fictional draft class. We're doing fictional players, okay? So boom, that's that there. This says here, they'll reveal themselves 90 days for the draft date. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. Financials. I like doing, you can do entire revenue available, owner decides budget. I want to do entire revenue. I don't want my owner to tell me what the hell I'm going to do. Once again, I set the owner if I'm trying to keep my job. When I'm doing a GM dynasty like that, that's fine. But here, I'm the owner. I can act as the owner, GM, manager. I control the money. We're trying to win baseball. Screw it. All right, so that's that. We've got free agency, AB system. I do like the current system, so I'm going to put a little hybrid. I know 86 wasn't like this, but I like the qualifying offer for later round picks. Okay, and so we're going to do it like that. Reliever of the year. These are the awards. I don't like all these crazy ass awards. I mean, they're not crazy, I guess. I don't like reliever of the year. I don't like the Silver Slugger award. I don't like that. I like the Gold Glove award. And that. So I mean, once again, personal preference. Less awards is better. I like the main awards, Rookie of the Year, Gold Glove awards. I think are important. Because the Gold Glove Awards and OOTP, they actually do it legitimately. They're not like popularity contests like Derek Jeter winning a Gold Glove every year when he has the range of a refrigerator. That makes no sense, but you know what I mean. Spring training, I don't like doing spring training. When I do that, I do it later in the year, but when I get the season going. All right, so 162, we're using the 86 schedule. Got my playoffs here. I just like doing little cosmetic things like that LCS. I'm not sure where they go with CS. It's a League Championship Series. Let's get it right. So that's all looks good there. Boom. So here's the cool thing. So players now. So I have no players in my world right now, but that's going to change. So default player origin. So here's what I do. And this is not to be, but what's the word? I like kind of doing it where I start out with nothing but Americans. And then have like the Dominican Republic guys, the Latin guys from Cuba and Japan come into the league kind of naturally so you can kind of follow them more than if you do it that way. So what I do is do 100% league nation like this, okay? Sorry, Canada. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be non-inclusive. I like doing it. I like it to build kind of naturally out of this. And I'll show you why. So that's right there. So now my amateur draft pool origin. So we'll do, once again, the draft, I like to keep it pretty American. Okay, and I'll tell you what I'll do here in a second. That's not to make sense. Those don't add up. So 1% Canada, 1% Puerto Rico in the draft pool. Okay, boom. So then down here, so international amateur free agents. Okay, so I do like 13 of these. I use a hard cap. How many do your scouting discoveries per team? We'll do 5 per year. And I go in here and I kind of edit this, okay? So I like kind of keeping it pretty simple. I like to get, once again, personal preference here. I like to go Dominican, Venezuela, and then Cuba. Now, Cuba is not going to be that many because, we're trying to keep it a little realistic. We can't really discover Cubans because they can't come over here. This is back in the 80s anyway. So, without having to escape their country. So, we're going to do 80% Dominicans. We'll go 17%. Boom. We'll go 18 here. And 2% Cubans that we discover because they're doing that way. All right, so my first kind of international players or foreign players will come from this international amateur free agent. They'll be in the minor leagues for a while, okay, which is pretty cool. And then established free agents. We'll do a few a year, and these will be the guys who come over from Cuba and Japan. I like just doing Cuba and Japan. And these are coming over from the professional leagues, the established players who become free agents, you can take a chance on. You know, can their skills translate to the major leagues? You know, they dominated Cuba and Japan. Can they play over here? So this is cool because you're gonna have your first kind of Japanese guy in your history, you know, in your new world happen, and do it that way. So it's kind of cool just to track and have first. So I do that just to have first. Like, oh, this was the first Dominican player to reach the major leagues. This was the first Venezuelan player to reach the major leagues. This is the first Cuban player to reach the major leagues. This is the first Japanese player to reach the major leagues. So I do it that way just to have like a context to that. Instead of just doing the default player origin where I put, say, 10% of Dominicans in there or 20% Dominican Republic players in there, then it's not kind of special in terms of this is there to start things out. So that's just personal preference, okay? Historical. I'm doing this. We're doing 86, okay? This stuff is all for, we're doing fake players, so it doesn't matter. Stats AI. Okay, this is all set up in 86 in terms of how often we do things. So we use relievers often, closers often. We don't use openers, never in 86. Pitching stamina is normal. In modern times, it's low. So it's normal here. You got guys who complete games now. Okay. So it's kind of 86. This right here is the 86 setup in terms of the power numbers, in terms of how many home runs were hit. So we got a good balance of home runs, of strikeouts, of balls in play. It's not like how baseball is today, where it's the 3 true outcomes. And I love baseball. I'm always gonna love baseball, but it's tough to watch at times. So I like it back in 86, which is the whole purpose of doing this. So I've got this set up, right? Now I need players. So how I generate players is like this. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and fill teams with fictional players. I ask you here, do you want to create player nationalities determined according to the team nation rather than a league player recreation? So you want to say no. Okay, I want to use the settings I set up just now with my players. Okay, I don't want to use where my teams are located. I want to use how I set things up. All right, so the answer is no right there. Boom. All right, so then I go ahead and now I'm going to release. I'm going to clear rosters now. That's what I'm going to do. Make everybody a free agent. All right. And now I'm going to schedule a free agent draft. All right. So now I come in here. And now we're doing a draft. Okay. And so what I do here is, this is 20 rounds. There's 650 players. All right. And so I get a draft that way there. But then I'll come back over here and I'll go to the American Association and I'll fill teams of fictional players. So now you kind of get some, hit no again. And I go into International League. Okay, and so now you're getting some guys down there, and this way it's kind of random, you know, what you have, what prospects you have. So I do all this, and that kind of gives you more players for your things. Eastern League. And this is why I chose the real minor leagues, because you have the real teams in there. So I'm putting all fictional players down there to build my farm system, and I'm going to draft my 20 kind of players in there. California League. Always hit no, so it gets your how you set things up if you're doing it that way. Florida State League, Midwest League, It takes some time, but I actually enjoy setting up leagues. I don't know why. I just love kind of getting things the way you want it. It's kind of like going to Burger King, get the way you want it. This is kind of the strength of this game. There's many strengths to this game. This is kind of the main strength. In some ways, this is weakness too, because what happens if you have ADD like I do, and you change your mind all the time, you like always are thinking about, man, I want to play a league like this time. I want to try it where I make everybody real players until they do. I want to do fictional players. I want to make it where I get fired. I should try it with, all Dominican Republican players and no Americans. I should make it where it's all Canadian, and like you just have your brain just kind of thinks of new ways, and sometimes it stinks that there's so many options because you kind of lose so much time setting things up. But I like it. I mean, whatever. Keeps my mind doing the right things. All right. So here's what I do. So free agent draft, you can do a couple things. You can go random order, boom, straight draft. The Pirates are the #1 pick. So what I do is I'm going to try doing this. Now the Red Sox and Mets were in the World Series that time. I don't like necessarily giving myself a really great pick, making it more challenging. But here's what I do. So I'm starting 86. I want to keep on hitting at random until the Mets get the #1 draft pick. Okay, and the idea being, I like the Mets. It doesn't mean they'll be good, by the way, because I've seen this happen where the computer will draft, and they may draft a lot of young guys, and they might get good in a few years, but they might stink in the actual first season. But we're going to make it where I'm going to assign until the Mets get #1. See, the Red Sox #1, that'd be nice. And as soon as the Mets get #1, we're going to stop. So this may take a while. Sometimes it goes happen. The Expos, that's cool too. It's why I like this league, is the Expos are playing ball. And I like that. Boom. Again. The Pirates again. Good Lord, Pirates. Orioles. Reds. And I do a straight draft. I do a serpentine. I like kind of having, a team that picked low to see how they do and so forth. Yankees #1 draft pick. There we go. So here we go. So this is going to be the draft order now. So where's my Red Sox? I'm 11th. Okay. Yankees are 10th. It's not bad. And I kind of like that. 11 is pretty good. So Mets #1 draft pick. Cardinals, pretty cool. And at least kind of rivals back in the 80s with a 1-2 pick. I like that. You get the Dodgers and the Giants pretty close to the top 6. I like that. You got the Reds and the Orioles, which is pretty good. These are all good teams in the 80s. Expos right there. Cubbies and Brewers. Brewers in the AL East, of course. The Tigers are last, and the Pirates are down there too. The Rangers. I mean, no disrespect to the Rangers, but I'm kind of glad the Rangers are down there a little bit. Blue Jays, Braves, so forth. All right. So let me save this right here. Now you have your draft, and so and these are all fictional dudes, and this is cool. Okay. I know what I gotta do too. One thing I gotta do too is I fill my teams with fictional coaches and scouts, and I make fictional personnel contracts. Okay. And then now I gotta get out of commissioner mode because otherwise I'll be cheating because I'll be able to see things too accurately. Boom, like that. I always leave my assistant GM do my budgets for me and to fire my only personnel. Everything else I like to do. And so forth. So free agent draft. Let's save this again because I'm always afraid it's going to freeze up on me and I lose everything I did. Always save. Always save. Over save if you have to. Then start the draft. Okay, so we'll do the Mets. I don't like that star rating. This is personal preference here, guys. And this is I don't like doing the stars. I just feel it gives me too much info. I don't like that. All right, here we go. All right, so there's no ratings. We're going to go potential and this is all the potential ratings. So right now, in terms of all batters, all right, you got some guys with an 80 contact potential. Tom America. All right, power guys. Got a couple of 70 guys up here. Okay. But these guys are at 36 and 31. So here's the thing. That's their potential. But, you know, there's a good chance that they've already hit their potential and they're on the way down. Okay. So that's the thing. You kind of keep that in mind. They might have their age right here. I mean, Randy Carr, at 31 years old, may have a couple more years on that. We don't know, though. He could play at 41 and have that power. So a guy here at 27, age 27, this Kyle Meyer dude, okay, he's probably had a bunch of home runs, okay? Is this legit? And I like looking at this stuff here too. His personality, that's important, okay? I like looking at the scouting report a little bit too. All right, he has a big league skills at third base position. He'll take a walk if he doesn't get a pitch. I like that. Okay, holding that. So, you know, all these guys you kind of look at and do that. So, let's see who the Mets pick number 1. The Mets, one of the pitchers, Zach Mitchell. Let's kind of see what this guy is, Zach Mitchell. So, this is pretty cool. So, what I always do here to kind of keep my interest in the game is I create a new short list. And so I'll do a short list with top draft picks. So every time I have a draft, okay, I'm gonna put these guys in this list I have, and so I can see, okay, add the top draft pick. So now Zach Mitchell is a top draft pick. That way, I kind of look and see how those guys are doing in my short list. Okay, when I go to my short list over here, where is my short list? There's a quick way to go through it. I want to show this. I always have a hard time finding this, and then well, where the hell is it? Here we go. So I want to go and look at the short list, top draft picks. This is all players. And there's Zach Mitchell. So what you can do is over time, you can kind of look in this list. You play 10 years, you have 10 top draft picks. You can kind of see, all right, you know, who was a bust, who's doing really well. All right. So that's that. All right, so we'll see. After St. Louis, who they go and get? They get this guy, Mike Marcinowski. Pretty balanced right there. 28 years old, prime of his life. He is a free agent, though, at the end of the season. So, kind of interesting right there. Big money. Personality, one of the team leaders. I like the other team leaders. A good job by them. That's a solid pick, Cardinals. Out of Baltimore, Andy Twist. Out of Los Angeles, Dan Hansen. The Reds got that. Mike Matzke. Sam Forgione for the Giants. Expos get Dan Castaneda. Cubs, Jim Taylor. Brewers, Ben Sutherland. Yankees get Max Green. Let me check out this guy. I'm going to be facing this dude a lot. Max Green from Woodbourne, Pennsylvania, 35 years old. He's a free agent of the year. Pretty solid, good changeup. Okay, personal class, spark plug, work ethic guy, hard nosed but not dirty. Sounds like a good guy the Yankee fans will like, but he's old though, 35 years of age. So it's my turn now. So I always do this right here. I get the scouting director gives me a recommendation. Okay, and then I check out who they give me. And right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not going to draft this guy. He's 34 years of age. I really don't want to use my pick on a 34-year-old. But I'll check him out. Amari Phillips will get big time pop. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I will. Left-handed, though. Do I want a left-handed bat? He's extreme pull. Fly ball, he's normal. He's a fly ball hitter. He's a really hard worker. That's good. I might, you know what? Good defender. I don't know. I might. Amari, I might. Let me go ahead and look at some other things, though, too. My top draft pick, I kind of want a guy who is 5 tools. Let's look at this guy here. Jaden Boyd. left fielder. All right. He's a barrel of laughs. He's a prankster. Decent outfielder. Pole hitter. Spray hitter. I don't know if I want that for my number one guy. I would like kind of a center fielder. 5-tool center fielder. Like a Mike Trout, maybe, I'm not sure if anyone left in the draft like that. Look at this guy. What's his name? Bubba Bear plays third base too, not a true center fielder. Mario Hernandez. Good range. Look at that. Outfield air of 80, catches everything. Gets defensive with others. Okay, so he's kind of outspoken. I don't think he'd fit well in Boston. Outspoken and gets defensive. That's not really good. That's not a good sign for someone playing in Boston. He needs to go to Montreal or Pittsburgh. All right, so who do I take? Here's a guy here, C.J. Teichmiller from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Bats right, top of the lineup. Look at it. It's got speed. He's a good defender. Can be intimidated with an habitual scowl. So he's kind of a hard-nosed badass. Contact not great. Power. He avoids K. He strikes out a little bit. Too much for me. I don't know. Number 19 is nowhere for Freddie Lynn. I don't know. What about a shortstop? Do we have any shortstops here? Big time shortstops. Bubba Berry up there again. No true shortstops up there. What's this Bubba Berry guy? He keeps on popping up. Plays third base. It's kind of like DJ LeMahieu a little bit. Second base, third base, shortstop, utility guy. He's not really great at anything defensively though, but he can hit. He doesn't have speed, but he's a great base runner. He's a salt of the earth kind of a guy, kind of like a fan favorite. He adapts well. I'm not sure I like this guy. I'm not sure I would like him for my first pick though. They're the kind of guy you go first overall. So at this point, I need to go to pitchers. If I don't see a hitter that really stands out for me, I've got to go to starting pitchers. So let's go here. We got Miguel Ramos, 34. He throws some heat. Doesn't hold guys on base. Stamina is 50. We got a lefty here who is 30 years old. Adam Pickering. Doesn't have a good changeup, fastball, footer, and forkball, so everything's kind of hard. Those little sidearm. Here we go. The trouble always finds Pickering bad for team chemistry. So we don't want bastards like that in your team now. Take your ass home. Who's this guy here? Bruce Hunsucker. 24 years of age. Got a little control issues. But a fastball, slider, and a changeup and a forkball. He's nasty. He's just nasty. Average Joe. Adaptability. 94, 96 in the gun. Again, he's young. He's controllable. I mean, is he an ace? Let me see what they say here. He's from Travilla, Maryland. Top on that for 6. And the radar gun, his most consistent pitcher right now is a dominant slider, which he pairs with a dominant changeup. His stuff should play well above average once he's finished developing. So he's not all the way developed, okay? Great command of his pitches. He really good at the long ball. 3 quality pitches. Potential to anchor a rotation. So, this is probably my guy right here. This is probably my guy. My number 1 pick is going to be Bruce Hunsucker. I just think he's going to be the ace. I want someone young, controllable, that I don't have to pay a lot of money to right now, and do so. So we're going to put Bruce down here. Let me look at Ramos real quick, though, too. He intrigues me. Oh, Miguel Ramos intrigues me. But he's 34 years of age, though. But look at that. He's nasty. He's an ace right now. He puts in long hours, work ethic. God almighty. God almighty. These are tough decisions. See, if I think he'd be here, my next pick, that's the problem. Will Bruce Hunsaker be my next pick is the question. Will Bruce Hunsaker be there my next pick? That's debate right now. Miguel Ramos won't be. He won't be. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and draft Miguel Ramos. And I'm going to pray that Bruce Hunsaker is there with my second pick. And I'm going to pick him up and create a dominant 1-2 rotation right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there so you guys can get on with your lives. That's what I'm going to do. Let's go take a gamble. We're going to go ahead. Let me just make sure. Let me just give one report real quick. Make sure. Starting pitcher, 11-year Major League Baseball veteran. Throws heat with an off-the-charts fastball and a nasty curveball to get hitters out. He has premium stuff that will turn heads. Ramos, one of the premier pitchers. So he's one of the best pitchers in the league. He's 34 years of age. He's probably going to be a free agent of the year. But you know what? He's from Los Angeles, California. You know what? The Dodgers are probably going to scoop his ass up if I don't take him. And I'm not letting the Dodgers have him. The Dodgers already got Mookie Betts. We do not take Miguel Ramos for crying out loud. Let's go ahead and draft this boy. Let me get him in the draft queue. All right. So we're going to do this. Boom. Draft him. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and auto draft the next pick, and we're going to pray that Brucey is still there. No one take my boy Bruce. Don't take him. He's still there. And he's still there, folks. He is still there. My scouting director says take who? They want to take this guy, Brian Shaw. Uh-oh, now I got a problem. 22-year-old center fielder, my scout says. Let me look at this guy real quick. Bruce, want to take it. Oh, my Lord. I may like this guy. Will Bruce be there for my third pick? We have to wait a second. So Brian Shaw, 22 years of age, okay? Center fielder. He's blazing speed. He bats right, throws right. I mean, he's rarely makes waves in the clubhouse, okay? So he just does his job. Great outfield range. Good outfield arm. He probably won't be ready for major leagues right now. He's probably a guy that's going to go into minor leagues. Do you take a guy like this? Do you take a guy like this is the question. Do you? Will Hunsaker still be there in the third pick is the question. Will he still be there in the third pick? Will he still be there in the third pick? I think he might. I'm going to take this young kid. We're going to build this. We're going to build an organization, folks. I'm going to take him. All right. Auto draft again, and I promise I'm taking Hunsaker next if he's still there, and we're going to log off and get off this video. Please stay there, Bruce. Stay there. Bruce is still there. Bruce is still there. We liked him. We're going to take... I'm going to ask my scouting director real quick. I'm going to ask him real quick. All right. I saw this guy earlier. I don't like him. I already got Shore in center field. I don't need Chris Stump. We're bringing in Bruce. We're bringing in Bruce. Boom. 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 I like it. I like it right now. I like my first three picks. I feel good about this. See, this is the cool part of this game, okay? So these three guys are these Miguel Ramos, Bruce Hunsaker, and Brian Shaw, okay? They're nobodies, but now they're somebodies. Now I'll be going to bed tonight, okay, and I'll be tossing and turning in bed tonight, thinking about, man, I don't know, man, is Ryan Shaw going to make it? Is Ryan Shaw going to be able to get to the big leagues and hit his potential? Is Bruce Hunsaker going to take care of business? Is Miguel Ramos going to blow out his arm in spring training or the first week of the season and not live up to the hype? I mean, you know what I mean? But there's promise there. So that's what makes this game so much fun and why it is still my favorite game. I love PC replay baseball. I love, PC replay basketball. I love action PC golf. I mean, they're all great games. They're all great games. But at the end of the day, I always come back to my first love, out of the park baseball. The other game like this to check out for basketball is Wolverine Studios Draft Day Pro Basketball 21. I did a YouTube video on that before. It's very similar to this, only with basketball. The only reason why I don't have it in out of the park baseball's category is because I'm a baseball lover first and basketball second. Okay, so it's not really about the games, but the sport. But this does a great job. So definitely, if you haven't played out of the park baseball before, if you have, it's pretty cheap right now. Pick it up, and if you want to play a league like this, you can do it. If you like a certain other year, if you like 1970s baseball, go ahead and start in 1975 and do the same thing and have those things. So it's just pretty cool to do like this. So if I look at my roster real quick now, my pitching staff, you can see we got Miguel Ramos. Look at him, looking pretty, Miguel Ramos. Look at him. Look how well he looks in that uniform. Damn right. Look at Bruce. We're changing jersey numbers now. They're not number 4. I'll tell you right now. I'm going to change it right now. Number 4 is not going to my picture. We're going to make him. We're going to make Bruce Hunsaker. Let's make him. You know what? After another famous Bruce, like Bruce Hurst, in honor of Bruce Hurst, 47. Yeah, he's not a lefty, but give me a break. Bruce Hunsaker, 47. Miguel Ramos. You know what? You know what I got to give him, don't you? You know what I got to give him. You know what I got to give him. 45. We're giving Page's number. I'll give him Page's right there. So there we go. All right. Boom. And then where's my my batter? I'm sure. I don't think I like 22. Number 22 is a good number. I don't think he'll probably start in the major leagues. To be honest with you, he'll probably down in the minor leagues and do that. So that's it. Thanks for checking out my channel, Pesky Poll. And hit me on Twitter at the Pesky Poll if any questions, or in the Facebook groups. But have a great night. Bye.